All right, so this first one, you want to look at the divisor right here and decide what makes that 0. So hey guys, what makes this 0? Perfect, you're on your way. Put -2 in a little box off to the side. Then it calms you down, right? Because it's like, oh, I started the problem. Then you need to check if your countdown is in order or if you're missing anything. So check it. Are we missing anything or are we all good? We're all good. All right, please put the Chromebook away. All right, so we're going to take all the coefficients from the problem. It will be 1, 3, -2, 1, -1. Again, you're just taking all the numbers from the problem. Bring down the first number, and you're going to multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add until you get to the end, all right? -2 times 1. Good. Add the column. 1. Good. Do it again. -2 times 1, -2. Add that column. -4. Perfect. -2 times -4 would be 8. Add the column, you get 9. -2 times 9 would be -18. And so what is our remainder? -19. Good. When you put the variables back in, what are you going to start with? Cubed. It's 1 less than what you had here because you divided out an x. So it's going down by 1. So it'll be 1x to the third plus 1x squared minus 4x plus 9. It's going to go in descending order like that. And then for the remainder, always put plus. It is just easier that way. You don't have to worry about the symbol. Just always put plus. And then it's your remainder over what? X plus 2. It's your divisor right there. What you're basically saying is we were unable to divide that part out. Do we feel like that went better than last time? Like sometimes you just need to see it again. That's why I put this worksheet together for us to practice. All right, let's try the next one. Look at the divisor. What makes this 0? -1/2. Oh my gosh, there's a fraction and it's negative. Double whammy. You're going to be okay. Yeah. Let me pause the recording while I address that. All right, is our countdown good or are we missing anything? We're missing a cubed. All right, so it's going to be 4, 0 for the x cubed, 5, -5, 4. So bring down the 4. We're going to multiply, add until we get to the end. Divide, or excuse me, let me start over, take 2. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing by 2, which is negative. So you're dividing by -2. So what would be -1/2 times 4? Good, -2, add the column, you get -2. This time when you multiply, the negatives cancel. 1/2 of 2 is 1, add the column, you get 6. What would the next one be? -1/2 times 6. Good. -3, add the column, you get -8. -1/2 times -8 would be +4, add, your remainder is 8. Now, whenever you had a fraction like that, you have to reduce these, but not the remainder. That's just the leftovers. We're not going to touch that. And it's because of the 2 that's in here. These are all going to divide by 2. So what would they reduce to? We're dividing these all by 2. It's like reducing a fraction. 2, good. -1, 3, -4. Okay, again, don't mess with the remainder. That's just the leftover. We're going to start with x to the third. So 2x to the third minus 1x squared plus 3x minus 4, and then tack on the 8 over the divisor. All right, you guys go ahead and try number 4. Go ahead and try number 4. Talk to each other, and then I'll go over it. All right, let's see. What did you guys put in the little box off to the side? 2, good. Are we missing anything? Yes, we're missing to the 4th. All right, so it's going to be 1, 0, -2, 1, -7, 2. Did the setup go okay? Okay, Bring down the 1, we're going to multiply, add, multiply, add. 2 times 1 is 2, add, you get 2. 2 times 2 is 4, add, you get 2. 2 times 2 is 4, add, you get 5. 2 times 5 is 10, add the column, you get 3. 2 times 3 is 6, add, you get 8. Are we getting there? It's very process driven. All right, we're going to start with 1 less than we had here, so that would be to the 4th. So it's 1x to the 4th plus 2x to the 3rd plus 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, and then your remainder goes over the divisor. Okay, no one seems upset. All right, so let's flip back. We're going to do the long division. I'm going to do this one, and I'll have you guys try the one on the back. Yes, it's a little bit more writing. You're going to be okay. The nice thing about dividing by this is you get to knock out 3 columns at once. And this is why you need long division. Why would synthetic division not work for this? Put that phone away. Why would synthetic division not work? Because it's what? I just can't hear you. What does it have in it, guys? A squared. It's a quadratic. I'm sorry, I just couldn't hear you back there. It's a quadratic. What number would go in the little box? You don't know. Okay, so you have to do long division. You're going to compare the first 2 terms. How do you turn an x squared into an x to the 5th? What would you have to multiply by? X to the 3rd. Perfect. And what you're going to do is distribute that x to the 3rd through there. And when you write it underneath, all the columns will line up perfectly. So distribute the x to the 3rd through there. You'll get x to the 5th minus 2x to the 4th plus 5x cubed. And let me zoom in. That part usually goes fine. Here's the step that gets everybody. And then you have to do what? Subtract. So give it a hug, put a negative. The reason this gets everybody is because negatives are difficult. Okay, this is the hard step. But what happens to the first column always? Yeah, like you orchestrated it on purpose to turn out that way. What will this first column give us? And again, remember, we're subtracting. 4, good, because this is minus a negative. It'll really be plus. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4x to the 4th, and then what would this column be? Good, minus 7x cubed. Bring down the next term. We're going to do it all over again. So compare the first 2 terms. You have an x squared. You want it to be a 4x to the 4th. What would you multiply by? 4x squared, good. And do you see how this descended? It's going to go in descending order, right? Now, it's hard for me to draw in the little rainbows the further away we get, but you're going to distribute this 4x squared through here and write it right underneath. So distributing the 4x squared. That'll be 4x to the 4th minus 8x cubed plus 20x squared. And then you subtract. Again, that is the difficult step because negatives are difficult. But the first column is always going to go away. What is the second column going to give us? Good, perfect. You can put the 1 if you want, 1x cubed, and then this would be 15 minus 20. Perfect. All right, bring down the 0x. We're going to do it again. You have an x squared. You want it to be an x cubed. What would you multiply by? X, good. Distribute that x through here. So distribute the x through here. That would give you x to the 3rd minus 2x squared plus 5x. And then you subtract. The first column will cancel. What is left from the second column? -3, good. X squared, and then this would be 0 minus 5, so minus 5x. Bring down the -9. This is the last one. One last time. You have an x squared. You want it to be a -3x squared. So what will you multiply by? -3. And once again, do you see how this descends, like your answer here? Like that's how that's going to work. All right, distribute a -3 to everybody. That'll be -3x squared plus 6x minus 15. And when you subtract here, that will be your remainder. So let's see, what's left will be negative 11x plus 6. So when you tack that on at the end, always put a positive. It is just easier that way. Just always put plus. It'll be that negative 11x plus 6 over the divisor. And that is your answer. You don't have to rewrite that. I was helping people yesterday and they want to like rewrite the whole thing. You don't have to do, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. All right, I want you guys to try this one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let the recording keep going. And once like a minute or two has gone by, I'm gonna write out the first step so you can kind of check it as you're going along. Because you kind of want to make sure you're right before you go on to the second step. Otherwise, like if you have a mistake, it starts to snowball. Thank you. All right, I wrote up the first step. So if you want to check it to that point before you go further, make sure you got the same thing. All right, I'm seeing some people are done, so I'm going to finish this up here. This is the second step with the minus 6x. How did that go? We got that far. Okay, what are we going to multiply by for this last one? All right, 21. Distribute the 21. That'll be 21x squared plus 63x minus 21. And whatever we get here is our remainder because we're finished. There's no more numbers to bring down. So what will this be? What are we going to be left with? It'll be negative. All right, negative 68x plus 22. Perfect. You put a plus negative 68x plus 22 over the divisor.